definition, a prism has two bases that must be the same polygon, and those two bases are connected by rectangular faces. Now we're going to discuss the volume and surface area of prisms. So we know that in the context of volume, we have to deal with length, we have to deal with width, and we have to deal with height. So it should make sense that we're going to use units cubed. Since we have 3 dimensions to deal with, we're going to deal with units cubed for volume. The formula for our volume of our prism is going to be the area of the base. Now our base can be any of the polygons that we've worked with. So we'll have to plug in the appropriate formula there times the height of our prism. So let's go through and work a few problems. Okay, in our first problem here, we look and we see that we have a square base. So we know that our formula tells us we have the area of the base times the height. Okay, the area of a square is length times width. I'll multiply that by our height. So the length of this square is 10. The width of this square is also 10. And the height of our figure in this case is 8 kilometers. So we have 10 times 10, which is 100, and we're multiplying that by 8. We get our total volume is 800 kilometers cubed. The volume of this prism is 800 kilometers cubed. Now on to the second problem. Our base here is different. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides to our base. So we know that this is a pentagon. We still have our formula. Our volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. So in this problem, the area of my base, I'm going to use the formula for the area of any regular polygon. So I need my apothem, my number of sides, and my side length. So my apothem is labeled as 8.3. I have 5 sides. Each side is 12 yards long. And the height of my figure is 9 yards. So I'm going to plug that in my calculator. And once I plug that in, I determine that the volume of this solid is 2,241 yards cubed. Now we're going to talk a bit about the surface area. So we're dealing with area here. Area has length and width. So 2 dimensions, area is measured in units squared. So our surface area, when we're dealing with prisms, we have to deal with both the bases and the faces. So we're going to have 2 pieces to deal with. Both of the bases have to be the same. So we're going to have 2 times the area of the base. And then we're going to have to add in the sum of the area of the faces. We have to find all the rectangular faces and add them together. Now this process is made a little easier for us if we have a regular polygon as the base of our prism. So in that case, our surface area is 2 times the area of our base. So that part hasn't changed. But if we have a regular polygon as our base, all of our faces are going to be the same. So we're going to have n of those, n being the number of sides, times the area of our faces. Area of a face. Since they'll all be the same, we just multiply the area of one of them by how many of them there are. So let's work a couple of problems. In this first problem, we see that we have a regular polygon as our base. We have a square as our base. So our surface area is equal to 2 times the area of the base plus n times the area of a face. So the area of my base is going to be 6 times 6, since it's length times width for any type of rectangle. So I'm going to make another line here and fill that in. So it's 6 times 6. Okay, and then I have 4 sides to my base. So I'm going to have 4 of these faces. And these faces are going to be our side length times the height of our figure. So I'm going to put S times H. So the side length is 6, and the height of my whole solid is 11 meters. So I'm going to multiply that out. So it's 2 times 36 plus 4 times 66. And when I multiply that out, I determine that my total surface area in this case is 336 meters squared. So 336 meters squared. Okay, for my final problem, I have a triangular base. Sometimes it's turned on its side. In this case, it is turned on its side. Just because that is on the bottom does not mean that's the base. The bases have to match. So I have my surface area is equal to 2 times the area of my base plus, it's not a regular polygon, so I'm going to have to say the sum of the area of my faces. Now in this case, my base is a triangle, so that's 1/2 base times height. Each of my faces is a rectangle. By definition, the faces of a prism are going to be a rectangle. I'm going to have 3 of those. So we're going to say length times width plus length times width plus length times width. Okay, so I have 1/2. My base is 4. My height is 3. Okay, and then I'm going to have 3 faces. So one of my faces is going to be 4 times 6. So I'm going to have to go along this side and then along the height. One of my faces is going to be 5 times 6. And my other one is going to be 3 times 6. So as you can see, the height of your solid is going to be one of the dimensions of your faces for all of your faces. And the other dimension is going to be that side length of your base. So I have 2 times 1/2 of 4 times 3. Which gives me 2 times 6 plus 4 times 6 is 24 plus 5 times 6 is 30, plus 3 times 6 is 18. And when I add all of those together, I find out that my total surface area is equal to 84 feet squared. The total surface area of 84 feet squared.